All right. Thank you, Jessica, for coming in today. I appreciate you being willing to meet with me. Um, Before we get started, I just kind of want to explain what each session will look like. And in order to do so, I want to assure you that everything that you say here with me will be private. It's just between you and I. I won't be shared with anyone. However, in the case where you present yourself as maybe a danger to yourself or others, including children or the elderly, I will have to disclose that to the proper authorities. Do you have any issues with that or any questions?
Not right now.
Okay, all right. And it's not to hurt you or to put you in danger. It's just to take care of everyone. So, um, if you don't mind, I know a little bit from your intake about you, but obviously your name's Jessica. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, your age, relationship status, things of that nature.
Yeah, so I'm 27 and I just got out of an abusive relationship like a few weeks ago. Um, and I'm pregnant, like 8 months pregnant. So I don't have any kids yet, but I have one on the way.
Boy or a girl?
A boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
If you don't mind, could I ask? So you're obviously in an abusive relationship. Where's the husband now, or the partner?
yeah, so he's in jail now. So
Okay. Okay. And would you consider yourself still together with him, or are you separated, or
we're separated.
separated? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to share?
Nothing that comes to the top of my head right now.
Okay. All right. And if there's anything else throughout our session, just let me know. Um, what brought you here today?
Well, I mean, being in this abusive relationship, I was in it for years, and it's been unhealthy. And I just want to learn and make changes in my life that will be beneficial for me and my child in the future. And so I think that's really the driving force in me coming.
Okay. All right. Um, Although there was domestic abuse, was there any CPS involvement or anything like that that we need to know about?
Not that I don't think so.
Okay.
I think if our son had been born,
okay.
That.
Okay. All right. Perfect. If you don't mind, maybe we could just kind of, gear our discussion today and around how you felt as a domestic abuse victim throughout those years, and maybe we could set some goals to help us and to help you in the future sessions that we have. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So how did you feel? Maybe just think back over the years as a domestic abuse victim, and tell me, how did you feel throughout the years? How long were you together with your partner?
Like 3.5 years, I think.
Okay. And how did you feel? What are some things? I mean, when did the abuse start, for one?
Well, I mean, I feel like when it starts, you don't really notice it as abuse. It just like you started kind of putting limits or making me feel weird about reaching out to my friends and family members and things like that. And I don't know, at first you kind of just think that's normal, like, oh, I am in a relationship with someone, they want my time and my attention. And then you start like feeling later down the road, like, okay, maybe this isn't like what I thought. In my particular case too, then you start putting limits on like money and like what I could spend and what I couldn't spend, even if it was like money I was making and stuff like that. So it just became more and more evident that it wasn't just, like a new relationship starting. It was, I just felt confined kind of, or limited. And I don't know, like I had to rely on him for most things.
So was he the breadwinner, so to speak? Did you work at all, or was it just him?
Yeah, I'd work like part-time jobs usually, or if I was working full-time, it wasn't as much as he was making. So if I was bringing in money, it wasn't as significant, I guess, as his.
Okay. Those feelings that you described, confined, restrained, things of that nature are not uncommon in domestic abuse situations. It's very common for whether it's the male or the female, or in a heterosexual relationship, whoever's the victim, it's not uncommon for them to feel those descriptive words, like you said, confined or restrained. I'll explain a little bit, if you don't mind, about domestic abuse and kind of what, obviously you're the expert, but maybe this can give you some insight into why that happened and the motives behind it. But also in this session, I want to help you gain some self-worth. And obviously over the course of our sessions, we'll be able to do that. But I just want to introduce a few things to you. So in domestic abuse, typically the abuser wants two things. One is power. They want power over the person that they're with. And two is control. It's for a variety of reasons. There's a lot of myths in domestic abuse. And in your case, it seems like when you described your relationship as confining or restraining, that's kind of the power piece, power and control piece, right? So, and again, I don't know your partner or your ex-partner, but it seems like he was exhibiting behaviors that would show he wanted power and control over you, over your decisions. He wanted you to depend on him for everything. Am I right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And over those years that you were with him, or months, did you feel like you had a loss of power and control in your own life?
Yeah. I felt like I used to turn to my friends and family a lot more, and I knew he wouldn't be happy if I did that. And so it just felt like more restrictive and more like less freedom really for me to be able to do the things I wanted. And so I had less control of the things I wanted to be doing, I felt like. So I think so.
Yeah. What are some things that you did before the abuse just before the abuse that helped you feel freedom, helped you feel control over your own life, power in your life? What are some things that...
Well, I think just like small little things, like going to the grocery store when I wanted to and being able to spend money on what I wanted and like kind of how much I wanted. Or like if you're having a bad day, a lot of people like just to go grab an ice cream or something. Like those things I felt like weren't things that I could do anymore without at least like getting in trouble for it later.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can see how the domestic abuse really put a hindrance in your life, in feeling that you were worth something. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To you, so looking forward, obviously, we're going to discuss in future sessions more in depth about the abuse that you've had and what that looks like and how we can improve. But just to get a general sense, what does life without abuse look like to you? What is a life where you are in control and where you're in control? What does that look like to you going forward?
Well, I think right now it might look a little different than what I hope it looks like a little further down the road. But like right now, it's just really confusing because I still do sometimes think like, well, if I hadn't done or said these things, then he wouldn't be in jail right now and maybe things would be different, or, like if there's different things, and it makes me kind of wonder, like, and just really just question myself and who I am and if I'm a good person or things like that. But things that I hope for are just kind of things that I had before this relationship in some ways, and maybe even things I didn't, but I just hope to feel more confident, more comfortable being myself and who I am, and just more comfortable in my own skin. It's like not having to worry about what other people think about my choices. I want to be able to like recognize like these warning signs again so I don't get in another relationship like this, kind of those types of things. So
Thank you for sharing that. I can, as we've discussed today, and you've shared a lot of, deep private information with me. I just want to thank you for that. I can't imagine how you feel, but I can feel that it's real to you, and the way you've experienced is intense, and it does, in a sense, take control of who you are or who you were before. I just want to let you know that I'm here with you throughout that process, and you can discuss anything that you would like with me as we continue this process. I hope that you can realize that you do have power and control, that even though your abuser did, do things to you that were not correct and did, take that power and control away from you, it's possible to regain it and to realize that you do have it again. In talking about that, in talking about what a life without domestic abuse looks like to you, and with, I guess a better way to say that is a life with your own power and control, I wanted to discuss maybe some goals that you could set, and I'll write these goals down, and as we go throughout the course of our discussions week to week, we'll remind each other of these goals, and we'll kind of continue that process. But what are some goals that you could set for yourself to help you get power and control? And I just think about this, but some ideas, and I don't know these things about you, but education-wise, maybe with your child, your baby boy that's on the way, housing situation, employment, things of that nature. What are some goals that you could set?
I think right now in this moment, some things that I want to do is find a better job so I can save up more money for when I have the baby. And education kind of plays a big role in that, because I want to be able to find better jobs that can offer more money. And education was really important to me before this relationship, but it kind of stopped going because of restrictive reasons that my partner kind of put on me. But so right now I have my associates and I want to get my bachelor's degree, so that could be another goal.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Okay. Is that something that you've kind of been thinking about recently, the education piece?
Well, yeah, I just want to be the best provider I can right now for my son, and the jobs I qualify for, I mean, they're good, but I want to be able to do better. So.
Okay. Maybe, so I'll write this down. So education, you want to look into the associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that you could do this week that could help you or empower you to look into
that? Well, I already want to call my old college and see if I can, what steps I need to take to kind of reapply and stuff. So I think maybe just calling the college and
Sure.
and getting more information on how to do that.
Okay, perfect. I think as you do that, you're going to realize, by small steps, but you're going to realize that you really do have a lot to offer the world, and that you have a lot to offer yourself, and that this power and control that you lost can come back and will come back as you start making these decisions. And we'll talk about it next week. But I just want to thank you for coming in. Do you have any questions?
Not right now, no.
Oh, okay. And then I'm just going to give you the homework, which is to look into the associate's degree. Maybe we could write it down, and we'll talk about it next week. But thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.